boredom eating and messing up in the evening. Good morning. If you're coming in, give me a hello. If you're on replay, drop a replay en route to morning sessions. So I thought I'd jump on and talk about something that's, I've been chatting to someone recently, actually, this week, and it comes up a lot, if I'm honest. Boredom eating, messing up in the evening, struggling with overeating in the evening as well. So I wanted to touch on this and with a few points. So number one is that when we went through the food diet, this is why it's so key, because without this, we could have just been going around in circles going, well, are you tired? Are you stressed? Do you do this often? Is it weekends? Is it weekdays? Have you enough protein? All these questions. But when you looked at it, she would basically, it was a cycle like this. So I boredom eat / comfort eat / stress eat / I am actually a bit hungry. I want something, bit bored as well. Overeat, feel rubbish, feel too full, feel bloated, wake up the next day, probably impacted sleep, and then try and be as good as possible, fast, or maybe have a boiled egg or something really light, and then the cycle would repeat. And even their lunch was late lunch was probably about 200 calories. So I reckon they were on. Morning, Sarah. All the Sarahs are in. I reckon they're probably on about 300-400 calories by the time it got to their evening meal, which is fine if you feel in control and you're okay with that, and probably you're quite busy. But in this instance, it was like a cycle here. And when we kind of wrote this down a bit, and this is why it's so great with our food diary in our Kickstart book, it has a little bit saying, how do you feel before you eat? How do you feel after you eat? And as laborious as that is, and as frustrating as that is, and as boring as that is, guess what? It's also boring going around in circles, not really knowing why you get results or why you're not getting results. So it was really powerful to go through and go, like, in the evening, when I thought about it, I am actually still a bit hungry. It wasn't just boredom eating. So it wasn't just them going, I have no willpower. It's actually like, well, maybe we actually need to increase how much you're eating a little bit. Because if we increase how much you're eating during the day, even at the evening meal, you might actually feel a bit more satisfied and in control. Morning, Laura. So then what we looked at is going, okay, let's double your breakfast and increase some veg and protein at your lunch. And that was it. And they were like, oh yeah, I actually felt like really satisfied. So and one of the reasons was I didn't know I could have more than one egg a day, which, if I'm honest, comes up a lot. And I probably don't say this enough. It's like the one egg thing is like really stuck from years ago. Like, you have one egg in the morning, an egg a day, keeps you going. Best way to start your day, etc. Morning, Julie. So having a couple of eggs is absolutely fine. And we've done that. And then it's like, yeah, I felt like almost frustrated that I didn't want to eat in the evening. But on top of this as well, we've gone over one thing that I think is really important, in that there are going to be times where you have to make changes, where you have to make decisions that are quite hard during a transformation. This is really important because you're going to have to do things that are different to what you've always done. So it may require some thought process, some awareness, which is why writing down has been so key. Because he's like, yeah, I do it. And I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing it, really. But when writing it down, checking in, having that accountability, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I need to get control on this, because I actually want to feel good. I want to be healthy. This isn't just about weight loss here. This is also about bloating. This is about sleep quality. This is about not waking up in the night with a bad stomach. And this was sporadic, but you can get into a vicious cycle quite quickly with this. And it's like, then I just repeat. I need to kind of break that loop. The other part of this is to consider what you're doing in the evening, where your environment is. And this is an interesting one. And I think changing your environment is so key. Like, do you have like certain just go-tos that are just there, that it's just done? When you watch TV, when you sit down, these foods go on the table. I grab that. And one thing I'd say is, make sure whatever you have, you put in a bowl, put in some crockery so it's portioned, so you're not just eating out the packet. Keep it 6 feet away from you if you can. Keep it in the other room if you can. Like, have the bowl and then keep the rest away in the cupboard. Done. What I'd also say is have things like, if it's truly boredom eating, things that are quite low calorie that you can just have, whether that is like sugar-free jelly, something like that. That's something that we have quite a lot, especially with the collagen synthesis you get from gelatin as well. It might even help your skin, hair, nails. No one talks about sugar-free jelly, but it could be, especially if you make your own, because you actually get a fair bit of gelatin in there. So, on that note, you've got things like, obviously, low-calorie popcorn and things like that. And if it really is like just boredom eating, there's something to consider. So give that a try. Have a think of that today. Do you need to increase how much you're eating in the morning? Do you need to increase how much you're eating at lunch? Increase how much you're eating at dinner so you are full and satisfied? And actually the reason for it could actually be that we're trying to be so good, and the good actually causes the bad. So I hope that helps today. Any questions on that, just let me know. Off to morning sessions now. So if you have any questions or you're on replay, drop a replay